Well, ladies and gentlemen, another one of these phony presidential lists is out. I might as well tell you about it before you hear from the libs, where they order the presidents based on their greatness. And, of course, number one almost all the time is Franklin Roosevelt. Now, Franklin Roosevelt, who was a disaster in every respect, is number one. Franklin Roosevelt, who refused to integrate the military. Franklin Roosevelt, who rounded up Japanese Americans and had them placed in internment camps. Can you imagine if a president did that today? You think they'd wind up number one on this list? Franklin Roosevelt, who really destroyed our economy in so many ways. He's number one. Their number two choice is the other Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt. Now, I don't hate Theodore Roosevelt, but Theodore Roosevelt was clearly a liberal. Not in terms of his foreign policy agenda, but all the rest of it. Abraham Lincoln's number three. Now, I want you to think about that. Isn't Abraham Lincoln number one or two? George Washington's number four. Jefferson's number five. Madison's number six. Monroe's number seven. And then Woodrow Wilson. Woodrow Wilson was a disaster. They have him as number eight. They have Harry Truman as number nine. Now, Harry Truman, I would say, was a better than average president, but he wasn't in the top 10. And then number 10 is Dwight Eisenhower. Dwight Eisenhower was an average president, a little better than average, but he wasn't in the top 10. Next one, John Kennedy. I don't get that at all. John Kennedy was tragically shot down a couple of years into his presidency. He didn't have many accomplishments, and his foreign policy was really pretty poor, which is why the Russians misread him. I mean, he finally put his foot down to some extent. But he wasn't a great president. Number 11, James Polk. Now, James Polk was a great president for reasons we can discuss another day. Guess who they have as number 13? Bill Clinton. That just shows you where academia is. They're out of their minds. Bill Clinton, number 13, ahead of Reagan. Guess who number 14 is? Andrew Jackson, okay. Number 15, Barack Obama. Barack Obama is a disaster. After him, Johnson. So, another disaster. So you have to understand, New Deal, Great Society, Square Deal, Fair Deal, and Marxism. Obama. They're all in the top 15. Then John Adams is number 16, and then they get around to Ronald Reagan as number 17. This is what's preposterous. I'll give you my order. Washington, Lincoln, Reagan. There's the top three. After Reagan, they have John Quincy Adams, then Cleveland, then McKinley, then George H.W. Bush, then Van Buren. Van Buren. Taft, Chester Arthur, Ulysses S. Grant, Garfield is ahead of Ford. Coolidge, who they hate. They hate Coolidge. So they have him as number 29. Coolidge was a very, very good president. Nixon, they have as number 30. Rutherford B. Hayes is number 31. Really? Jimmy Carter, number 32. Taylor, Benjamin Harrison, William Harrison, Herbert Hoover, Tyler Fillmore, then George W. Bush. They have George W. Bush as number 39. See, that's just pathetic. Clinton, number 13. Obama, number 15. I read you this list not because I want you to take it seriously, because I don't.